Hi, Lynn.
Hi.
We'll go ahead and wait another minute or two to see if anybody else joins, and then we'll get started.
Okay. I have a friend who's going to be joining. I just reminded her.
All right, well, good. We'll get started. Thanks for joining us today for virtual office hours for the Quarry Innovation Center. My name's Justin Salters. I am on the team, the project team for the Quarry Innovation Center, working with the developer Orchard Partners. We host these virtual office hours twice a month to answer folks' questions or to listen and hear questions and then work on answering those about the project. A little overview of the agenda that we have planned out for today. We're going to go ahead and begin with an overview of our purpose and our outcomes for hosting these virtual office hours, go over some ground rules, then we'll do introductions, and then we'll spend our time in a working session, and then we'll end with other announcements and updates. Our purpose and outcomes, or P&Os, as we like to call them, for these office hours are to provide, number one, to provide a regular opportunity for the community to ask questions about the project. We want to be, accessible and just spend time to hear any new questions or um, comments folks have, especially on the question side. We want to then, as our team works on providing responses to those questions in our FAQ document that's available on the website and that's constantly updated. We want to review those responses and make sure that if folks have further questions, that we're able to go ahead and provide clarity and completeness. And then as we have new facts or updates about the project, to share them via this. And then lastly, this is an opportunity for our project team to go ahead and meet more Brisbane residents and business members. So virtual office hours, a little bit about them. They don't replace our in-person community open houses. We still do those as appropriate and as time as new information presents itself. We host our virtual office hours twice per month, most months. And folks are welcome to attend as many as they'd like to and are able to. There's no need to attend all of the virtual office hour meetings, and folks can start attending at any time. If you haven't made it to one and this is your first one, welcome. You can expect to hear me walk through these slides at all upcoming ones that you join us for. We use this time together to co-create our frequently asked questions document, and that FAQ is available from our project website. We've shared the Google link. It's on Google Drive, so the link that you have is literally the file that we work out of. Here's just to give you an idea of the virtual office hours that we've hosted. We held 8 in 2025, and we have virtual office hours coming up. I have the dates through the first quarter here, but we will be continuing those throughout the entire project duration. Last fall in October, right about the time that we announced the project was going to be an advanced manufacturing focus, we hosted a webinar with third-party experts, including folks from JLL, a commercial real estate firm, the City of Fremont's Economic Development Department that's actually overseen a lot of advanced manufacturing development, and the Bay Area Council that provided some just information about advanced manufacturing. The webinar was recorded and it's available on our website, and you can go ahead and view the materials and view a recording of the presentation. And I apologize for that yawn that just came out. It is after 4 p.m. and like my team and folks I work with know, the yawns come out at that point. We've got some questions about folks that have asked us about the information and how we use your information. When you register, we ask that you give us your name and email address. When you give us information, we only use it to go ahead and communicate with you, to answer questions you have about the project and to keep you informed about project updates. We never sell your information or share it with third parties who are not specifically connected to this project. And then we do require the attendees to register on Zoom. That just really helps us prevent spamming and as an extra layer of protection so that for all of our attendees, just to keep out inappropriate material. And then the last thing about registering, we have 2 meeting links, one for the second Wednesday, one for the fourth Wednesday, and you only need to register once, and then you get the link for all of these events. Today's meeting is being recorded. We record our virtual office hour so people who can't attend can watch them later. And so also our team can review it and ensure we fully capture questions that have been asked. The recordings we post to YouTube, and we also post them on our website, so folks can go ahead and go back and take a look at them. A little bit of ground rules for today before we jump into it. Number one, we ask that everybody listen to understand and give their full attention when others are speaking. You'll hear me clacking away on my keyboard, typing notes and questions, but that's still, you've got my full attention. I'm trying to capture it. We also want to avoid interrupting others, just letting folks finish their thoughts before responding or speaking. And then also we want to acknowledge different perspectives. And along those veins, just speaking respectfully. So we ask that everyone use calm, professional tones, even when we might disagree, and that we focus on issues and not the person. So we ask folks for no name calling, sarcasm, or personal attacks. And then we also ask that we use I statements. So I'm concerned about this, or I versus you statements. You, blah, blah, blah. Also, let's stay on topic. So there are a lot of issues and things we could be talking about, but we want to stay focused on the project and avoid tangents or unrelated debates that could derail our discussion. We also ask for everyone to assume our positive intent and acknowledge the impact. So we start from the assumption that everybody who comes to attend, we're all here in good faith. And if harm occurs, whether or not that's intentional, we want to acknowledge that and work to repair it. Also, we want to share the air, be mindful of how much you're speaking, step back if you've spoken a lot, and step up if you haven't. We want to hear from folks' perspectives. And then ground rule number six, we ask everybody watches their mind, their language, and like earlier around being respectful, but just avoiding inflammatory or politicized language, slang, or imagery. We want to choose words that invite dialogue rather than shut it down. Lastly, please consider technology etiquette. If you have background noise, please keep your mic muted so that we can reduce that. And we've got just a few attendees today, so it's not so much of a challenge. But if you are not on camera, or if there are multiple folks on the call, please use the raise hand or the chat function to indicate that you would like to go ahead and contribute. So those are our ground rules for today. We will go ahead and our next item up is introductions. So again, like I will go first. We just ask folks to share their name and whether you are a Brisbane resident, you represent a Brisbane business, or a project team member, or an interested person. So Justin Salters, I am an external affairs consultant. I specialize in working on projects like the Quarry Innovation Center, and I am very clearly a project team member. I'll go off of my list of participants. Lori, would you mind introducing yourself? Hi, Lori. Do you have your mic set up? I can't hear you if you're speaking. Oh, muted now. Let's go to Lynn. Lynn, do you mind introducing yourself?
Sure. I'm Lynn. I live in San Francisco. I recreate and bird and hunt mushrooms, walk, exercise. I like to look at nature. I'm concerned about the butterflies, especially the Calif silver spot. And that's it.
Great. And Lori, I apologize if you introduced yourself. And Lynn, to you too, I missed the beginning of yours. Thanks so much. I just realized my speakers on my computer were turned off from earlier today. So that's why I couldn't hear anybody. So sorry if you had said something and I just steamrolled and didn't acknowledge you. My apologies. But Lynn, I appreciate you. Thanks for the intro. Lori, would you mind reintroducing yourself?
Okay, sure. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now
Oh,
beautifully.
good. Okay. My name's Lori. I'm a San Francisco resident and I love San Bruno Mountain. And I'm working on a short film about the mountain, about the butterflies. Um, and yeah, that's what I wanted to hear more about the quarry development and etc. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right, great. Well, thank you too for joining us. Um, so today, I don't have really there is no formal presentation other than the slides that you just saw, if you will. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to share my screen. So this is our frequently asked questions document that we've been tracking since August of last year. And you can see we've got the questions for folks, our responses. If there is a link to an additional, material or announcement, et cetera, we put it here. And then we've just been working through these things. So I would just kind of pause to ask if you are there, any specific questions that either of you have about the project, and I can answer them. We can go ahead, like this is a Q&A, basically it's a Q&A session. So I'll kind of defer to either both of you to ask questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
I was just wondering, when does this project get decided and is it voted? Are the people of Brisbane voting on this? What happens exactly?
Yeah, so the project is the project will undergo a full environmental impact report, EIR. The City of Brisbane is the lead agency on it, so they will be the one who certify the EIR and who choose to go ahead and approve a development agreement. And so there's some other, like permitting entitlement actions that'll be taken. So it will not be voted on by the people of Brisbane. It will work its way through the city council, through the planning commission and the city council at the city of Brisbane.
Okay. I also was wondering, I know you have some the quarry development. Is it possible for me to use those in the film that I'm making to show, what's going on? Are those for public use or do I need permission?
I would say we need to have permission, and rather than putting that necessarily in our Q&A doc, Lori, if you will send me an email, I'll put my email in the chat.
Okay,
We can go ahead. I think we can go ahead and follow up with that on there.
okay. Any time frame on the EIR?
Um, so let me. The No, no, and yes, if you will. So, um, the uh, the lead agency, the city of Brisbane, and I think this is this question 42, if you will. What are the legal requirements or process that will take place with the new project description? Is kind of along those lines. So I'm going to add like, is there a timeline for certifying then the EIR for the new project description? Um, when we submitted our updated project description to the city of Brisbane in October, November, mid-fall, mid Q4 of last year, um, the city of Brisbane then reviewed the project description and has to go ahead and update the draft EIR, the DEIR, to go ahead and match the current project because the EIR that was circulated, and I believe the public comment period was about a year ago, or it closed about a year ago, was for a project that's very different. It was for a 1.3 million square foot warehouse distribution facility as opposed to an 892,000 square foot advanced manufacturing facility. So the timeline is at the city's discretion, if you will, since they are the lead agency. The new reports have to be completed, technical studies and reports have to be updated for the EIR then to be certified. So I feel confident and comfortable saying like our goal would be for it to be in sometime in 2026. Um, but ultimately it's at the um, speed and the capacity of the lead agency, the city of Brisbane, to go ahead and process things and move this along.
Also, are we able to get a copy of all these frequently asked questions?
Absolutely. So
Uh,
um, if you go onto our website, brisbanequarry.com, and then under the community engagement tab, FAQs, and then right here, if you click on this, it'll open this document for you, and
oh,
anybody with
excellent.
the link can view it.
Thank you.
And so we do. Yeah, this has a lot of questions. Like, there's a lot of things that people wanted to know about, like mining and why has the mining stopped, or why will the mining what would the mining continue? Um, there were questions when we started this back in August. The plans included a data center that no longer is part of the project plan. So, that reflects it. Um, there are, yeah, so we have gone ahead and really tried to provide really in-depth responses to the questions. So I would just also say, like, if there are any of these, that you're like, what is this isn't clear to me, please contact me and we will work on getting on helping provide even clearer responses for you. And then Lori also and Lynn as well, for your information. If you go onto our project tab, we've got the project description, the design permit application that we submitted to the city, and our design and our project renderings, the most up-to-date versions of those that we have. So these documents are here for you all to go ahead and be able to take a look at and review, especially like the project description, the design permit, that they go to the city, and so we just want to make sure folks have access to those.
Can people read the EIR or is that just for the city?
The EIR, the presently there is not a draft EIR that's been circulated for the advanced manufacturing um, project, if you will. The current DEIR, and we're gonna, please humor me while I search for this, if you will. Um, here we go. This is the city of Brisbane's webpage for this as well. Um, and you can see, the revised design permit application is currently under review. So this is,
Mhm.
like the news on it. If you go down here, you can see, they had the public review comment for the prior DEIR, which does not there. But so this right here is a DEIR that you can view, but I would not, it's, yeah, 831 pages. And I would, I would say, a very dense 831 pages, I might add. And it doesn't reflect the current project. So I would not necessarily advise, unless you're looking for, good bedtime material to cure some insomnia. I wouldn't, I would wait for the new one to come out.
Okay. Oh, so I guess I'm unclear about that. That's drafted by the city of Brisbane? They do the environmental review, or who
Yes.
does? Oh, okay.
So the way that the California Environmental Quality Act works, and we actually have a question up here. Let me scroll up and find this question. Uh, uh, Shoot, what is happening? Um, the city of Brisbane is the lead agency for the project, and so as such, um, the way that uh, the city of Brisbane has the principal authority for and responsibility actually, for completing the environmental review of the project and approving whether or not it moves forward. So the city, so for compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act, the city of Brisbane, as the lead agency, their job is to study the environmental impacts and then identify the appropriate mitigation measures to mitigate those impacts that are unavoidable. So that's why it's actually the city of Brisbane that prepares the EIR. The developer of the project pays for it, but it's done by, let me scroll all the way up here. Pardon me. Um,
Does the city hire people to help them? Because I
Yes.
would.
So the environment. This is the DEIR from October of 2024 for the
Mhm.
warehouse version of the project. And
Uh-huh.
so Panorama Environmental, they're a consulting firm, like an engineering and environmental consulting firm that they put together EIRs.
I see.
So Panorama has been contracted by the city to go ahead and prepare the environmental impact review. So similarly, Panorama will prepare the new EIR that matches the new project description.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to add a question down there, like who prepares the EIR for this city? You know, uh, there we go. That's a good question. Lynn, do you have any questions?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry that I have not read the frequently asked questions, so I apologize if my questions are in there.
Don't apologize at all, because if I can answer it really quickly and point you there, absolutely. But if not, we'll add them to here.
Okay, so I park on Quarry Road a lot, and I understand that it's going to be widened, and I also bird in that sort of wetland area, and I'm concerned about the frogs in there,
Okay.
birds. So I'm wondering how much of that is going to be, like how many feet is going to be removed from that, and will there still be parking for people that want to park or go into Owl Canyon or the wetland or whatever? It's like, is there still going to be parking for people there?
Um, Lynn, that's a very good question. And um, I I know that parking is something that parking for folks who uh, currently park on Quarry Road and use it for recreation activities, etc., is something that we've spoken with multiple times. My colleague Kit has been the one principally who's been going down the park, managing the parking questions that we've got. So I don't off the top of my head know the answer to that, but I know that we have a response and we can work on getting one for you.
And that would be in the frequently asked questions if I put,
We're going to go ahead and update it, and we'll get this question. We're going to get this question added onto here. So I'll get the response for you, and we will have it. We will add it to here.
okay, also there, I'm wondering how far up, well, there's some stone crop in the quarry, which I've never seen, but there's it's the host plant for the Alpha Blue.
Okay.
And I'm wondering how, if the terraces are going to be removed and how far up would they be removed? I'm just wondering if the big stone crop, habitat is going to remain intact.
And this is on the
It's in the
there's
quarry. It's at the terraces,
yes.
and I don't know where the terraces because I can't get in there. I would like to. Um, I don't know where the stone crop is, but this is an endangered species, butterfly, and it's a prime habitat. So I'm just wondering what is happening around uh, the stone crop that's on the terraces within the quarry. If those terraces are going to be plowed or if they're going to remain terraces.
Okay. Um, I can definitely ask our biologist and for that. I do know. Let's go back here, and I'm gonna take a look here, like this one view of our terraces. I don't know which
Yeah,
level.
that's okay. So it looks like the terraces will remain in
Yeah.
that. Okay, so
Yes.
that's good.
The biggest part of like the project site or like the area. So of the project, so the quarry property is 144 acres, and 57% of that, 82 acres, is actually of the quarry property is going to be set aside as permanent protected open space. And actually, the only parts of the quarry that are going to be redeveloped for the Quarry Innovation Center are actually already disturbed areas.
Okay, so there's also a pond, like right inside the gate, there is a pond. That could be habitat for some rare frogs. I don't know, it looks like great habitat to me, but of course I can't get in there. Uh,
What I
Look
would
at
say.
it, but I'm wondering about the pond inside the gate.
Okay, is the pond inside the gate of the quarry property a habitat for any protected species? I know that the biological surveys, that have to be done that have already been done the first go around, and I'm
Uh-huh.
not sure that was identified as a habitat spot. So, but there have been multiple biologists and folks out there working to identify species and survey the area. So, but that's a good question as well.
Okay, and could you give I'm not sure what I mean, this might be like in the introduction or in the stuff that's on your website. What is advanced manufacturing? And could you give an example of what that would be? Like making circuits or chips or what? What is advanced
Yes,
manufacturing?
that's the question. That question a lot of folks do ask. So, again, on the website, we have this section about advanced manufacturing. So there are really kind of three main elements if you think about. But number one is there are smart technologies, robotics, AI, and automation that's used on the manufacturing floor itself. Um, there's high quality employment in that, and then infrastructure is one of the biggest pieces. Um, uh, Modern facilities that have sustainable design and high power access. It's not zero emission manufacturing and advanced manufacturing are not the same thing, but they're the point is like you have a lot of a high power demand for developing things. Um, Semiconductors is one example of advanced manufacturing, but you might have like components of machines or other things. What I would recommend for a good overview, the advanced manufacturing, and this is if you go to the project at the top and you see this advanced manufacturing 101 webinar.
Yeah,
If you
okay.
scroll down right here, you can watch the video that we had. You can also click right here. I don't know if my cursor is visible,
Huh?
but here are the slides that we
Okay.
shared. And um, what I will do, I'm going to scroll down here though for you so you can kind of see. So like here's an example. This is Nikon. They do additive manufacturing in Long Beach. But just to give you an idea of like what the facilities look like, the types of companies that are there. Um, in an advanced manufacturing facility, 60% of the space is, for your floor, your manufacturing floor, if you will, and just 30% of it's for warehouse. And think of that, just you got to have somewhere to store the things that you built before they get sent to their end users. And then here are some examples from the city of Brisbane, I mean, city of Fremont. So you can see this is obviously a very large manufacturing park with a lot of different buildings. You've got right here some manufacturing. Tesla is obviously an example of a manufacturer in the Bay Area. Um, and, this is another example that the city of Fremont uses. And I saw them give a presentation last week at a state senate hearing, and they use the same building, same slide, but you see like this building on the right. This is an advanced manufacturing building that they're manufacturing, I think, some type of microelectronics inside.
Okay. And then like there are empty warehouses. I mean, the open houses that you have sponsored are in empty warehouses. So why is this needed? Are there actual tenants lined up for this that like can't renovate some of those other warehouses that, don't meet don't
Hmm.
seem relevant today?
Um, we do not have no, on this, do you have a tenant or tenants already identified for the QIC? No, we don't have a tenant yet identified. We're working on that. The and I will work on I'll work on an answer and add this, but I'm going to point to the website, if you will.
Yeah.
So we have this page on industrial infill, and um, the reality is a lot of the space that is available is obsolete. Just the current needs, if you will, and like ceiling heights, the power needs that modern users have, um, it does not really meet does not necessarily meet the demand or expectations for that folks have for right now. So I think
Okay.
that's a big part of it, Lynn, is um, the other piece is that there is actually there's a high demand and growing demand for manufacturing space in the Bay Area and on the peninsula in particular. And there's presently no really no space available for advanced manufacturers on the peninsula, in the peninsula region of the Bay Area.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do, I have a quick question. Do you guys envision this being rented to just one tenant?
Hmm. I would say all depends. It's I think the answer is no, but I think the answer is a maybe. Lori, I'll have to ask that question for the project team and the leasing team to see what they to understand from them. 892,000 square feet seems like a lot until you start really thinking about, how much space a manufacturing line takes, right? So I'll ask that question.
I guess, there's concerns about how many cars are going to be going in and out of this every day. And also energy concerns. You probably have this kind of stuff on your frequently asked questions. Is that right? I mean, I wonder about the high energy use and water use. But maybe I
Yeah.
should scroll through your FAQs.
I would encourage that, and then also the other component, Lori and Lynn, water use, power use. Those are sections that are covered in the environmental impact report.
Okay,
So those are topics that will be studied and will be assessed.
I see.
Um, PG&E will be constructing a new switch station on the Quarry property. And PG&E handles all of that, if you will, in terms of grid construction and how they go about doing that, um, outside of my scope. But the not this. Let me go ahead and pull back up. If you kind of see in the underneath the word project, where you see this like concrete pad right here, um,
Hmm.
that will be site to a PG&E switching station. So the project will be bringing new power into the region and to the vicinity of Crocker Industrial Park.
Hmm. Okay.
Any other questions?
I feel like I want to read the FAQs and maybe come back to you. I can't think of anything else. Can you, Lynn, or
No, I can't think of anything else at this point.
yeah.
I just put the link directly to the FAQ document in the chat also. So
Great.
if you just want to click to open that,
Okay.
um, we really are, our goal is to be clear and to answer questions. So we will work on getting answers to all of these questions and putting them there. And then I would also just share and ask, if you read as you read the FAQ, if you're like, this question, I'm still confused. What does this mean? Please send me an email and let us know, and we'll go ahead and work on providing clarity. It's an iterative process. This is not like a static one and done. Here's the response now. Like, this is what we've got to say about it. I would also encourage and appreciate for both of you if you um, don't mind, like we put the resources on the website, including like the advanced manufacturing webinar, the presentation. We put all of that out there to answer questions and provide information that people are looking for. And if you still have more questions, or if it raised additional questions, or if again things were not clear, please let us know so we can go ahead and work on. We want to provide responses. We want to be responsive to everybody, and all of the questions, and just we want to answer your questions. We want to provide the information so that you feel like you understand what is taking place.
I have one last question, actually. I tried to listen to the city council meeting, I think it was last week, about, I don't even remember what it
The
was. It's,
Geologic Hazard Abatement
yes.
District, the GAD.
Can you like can you summarize that, or can you tell, like, because it was really hard for me to follow. I
Yeah.
tried to understand. It sounded like it was some kind of insurance kind of thing for possible problems. Is that right?
No, well, yes, maybe. So, what, so for your information, we are planning on, we're working to put together a webinar that our team does on the geologic hazard abatement district, which sounds really complex. It's, policy speak, if you will. Um, the idea being that anything that has to do with earth movement, so say there's rain and you have a mudslide, or you just have dirt that flows off of something from protected open space, right? It happens. And it has to be cleaned up from the road or things like that. A geologic hazard abatement district is a financing tool that collects funds from the properties within the district, and then it's administered. It's a special district, like a Parks and Rec district or a community service district, but it's specifically focused on geologic hazards. And so, what we are proposing is that we're proposing to create a GAD that includes the quarry property, and that will be funded by the project. And that way, there is always funds that the city will have access to, or that the GAD will have access to, anytime there are, you know, cleanup activities, etc. Does that help answer? Uh, that's a very non-technical explanation and very 30,000 feet overview of the GAD. And we are planning a webinar, and when we get it scheduled, when we're able to announce it, I just mean when we work the scheduling with our team members, we will promote it and have that held special. But does that help answer the question about what a GAD is?
It does. And my other quick question is that because it's a quarry and it's a little dangerous, like there could be problems, or I mean, are you guys required to, are they, is it gonna, are they gonna have to have some kind of whatever you call it, gag to just,
No,
no,
no, the GADs are,
gads.
yeah,
Okay.
GADs are not necessarily like super commonly used, or like very commonly folks haven't. This is the first project I've worked on that's proposed uh, creating a GAD, but like anybody could propose a GAD. So, say you live in a mountainside community, right? And every time it rains, which is not that common in California, but it's like, right, it like pours, right? And you get debris and stuff that flows down to the roads, to the gutters, and somebody has to come out and clean that up. An HOA could choose to form a GAD so that you have funding, what an HOA would have its own money, but let's say a non-HOA neighborhood could have a GAD that's just focused on making sure there's always a pool of money to take care of those needs, versus, the city or your local government is hit with a one-time expense because all of our storm drains have to be cleaned out and things such and such. So it's
Okay, I
it's
see.
um it's a yeah, it's a tool in the policy toolbox, to go ahead and ensure that there's reliable funding to deal with geologic hazards. I get that's the best word to describe it.
Okay, that helps a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, it is not like, it's not like, oh, it's a quarry, so there are all of these hazards, so we must have a GAD. That's not the that's not the that's not the intent, or
Hmm.
And it, like, we joke around, my colleague Kit and I, that like it has the worst name because geologic makes it sound like an earthquake, right? And then hazard
Hmm.
is like what's going, like red flags, the alarm bells all going off. And so it was very poorly named, but that's what that's what it's used for.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of, wrapping up just a few things. We do host these the second and the fourth Wednesdays of the month. So our next one will be in 2 weeks on February 25th, and then we'll have them in March, and we'll have them in April, and going on and on and on. Um, uh, the link to register for the second Wednesday, there's also, like I've said earlier, there's a separate link to register for the fourth Wednesday. So please do, if you'd like to attend. I appreciate having both of you on today. It's been me by myself for the past several times, so it's great to have folks here with questions. And then also, we love feedback. And if you can, snag your phone, scan this code. There's a very, very brief anonymous survey, and that is how we like to go ahead and ask folks just what you thought of the format of the event, what things we can do to make it better or more impactful. Again, keeping in mind our purpose and outcomes, desired outcomes for the event. So that is what we've got coming up. But anyway, I appreciate your time and your questions. We will work with the team on getting responses. And unless there are any other questions, feel free to email me, justin@heysalty.com. Any other questions or ideas you have, or things, and we will add them to the list. And otherwise, thank you so much. And our next office hours will be in 2 weeks.
Thank you so much.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
evening.
Bye.
You too. Bye.